Hi, I'm Nicole Brors, and this is an episode of Dance to the Beat TV all about CBD. Real quick, my background is a nutritionist and herbalist, so CBD is something that kind of just fit naturally to me when I discovered it, and something that I had to learn more about because it's such a big buzzword. And if you're anything like me, then you have probably heard something about it and might be interested, might want to use it for yourself. Maybe you want to use it for your parents or your grandparents. Just get some more information and see how it works. So that's why I made this video. I'm going to start and I'm going to talk about what is CBD, where it comes from, how it works, whether you need THC for CBD to work, how people are using it for inflammation, how people are using it for anxiety, and how people are using it for sleep, as well as even in beauty products and for pets. So if that interests you, then keep watching and learn all about CBD. So, CBD, let's get right into it. When I say CBD, that is just short for cannabidiol. Cannabidiol is from a family known as the cannabinoids, and those are just a whole bunch of constituents that come from the cannabis plant. And right now, I think there's over 200. That number is always changing. We're still discovering a lot about the plant, but there are all of these different cannabinoids in the cannabis plant. So one of those cannabinoids is CBD, which I'm going to be talking about, and another one is THC, which you've probably also heard of. And THC is what is responsible for the psychoactive effects for all of the things that you've heard about. If you're smoking and getting high, that's what you've probably heard about. CBD is more of a medicinal side. It's not going to have any psychoactive properties. It's not going to get you high. We'll talk about kind of how it works and the benefits later. But CBD, THC, two totally separate things. So when we talk about the cannabis plant actually has, marijuana plants or hemp plants. And the marijuana plants are the female plants. Those are going to be naturally higher in THC. So most products that are for THC users are going to be for marijuana. When we talk about CBD, the hemp plant, the male plant, is going to be much higher in CBD naturally. So that's why a lot of CBD companies derive their products from the hemp plant, because it just makes sense to do so. So now let's talk about, there's this myth that you need THC to activate the CBD, or CBD won't work without THC. And that's definitely not true, but there's a little truth to it. And the way that it works is that when you derive the CBD from a plant, you can either take the CBD and just have the CBD isolate all by itself, you're just getting that one cannabinoid, or you can derive the plant and use the whole plant, or what they call full spectrum. Everyone does it a little differently. But full spectrum means you're going to get all those cannabinoids, including a little THC. Unless you get it in a dispensary, it has to be less than 0.3% THC. So it's a tiny amount. It's not going to get you high, but it will show up on a drug test. So that is something to note. So the full plant has a little bit of THC, but it also has all of those cannabinoids. It has flavonoids and chlorophyll and the terpenes, and just the way that Mother Nature kind of intended us to take that plant. So when you have all of those things together, it's actually been shown that it does tend to be a bit more potent, lasts longer in the bloodstream, and it's the way that Mother Nature intended us to take the plant. So I always recommend that if you can. That being said, I have seen firsthand people take CBD products that don't have any THC because they do get drug tested and they still want the benefits. And I have seen them, just have miraculous results, arthritis, pain, all kinds of other things, anxiety, and they are using the THC-free formula. So, do you need THC to activate the CBD? No, you do not. Will it work better if you have all of the cannabinoids and the whole plant? Absolutely. But if you don't have that option, or if you're a little sensitive to the taste, because it does taste like the whole plant, then a CBD isolate or THC product will still work better for you. So hopefully that clears that up and you have a basic understanding. Let's talk about CBD for inflammation. So whether or not you think that you're inflamed or not, the truth is we live in a really, really toxic environment. We have polluted our water systems, we have polluted our food systems. Even the air that we breathe is not super clean. So all of these things cause inflammation in the body, as well as, if we have any kind of poor diets, if we have sugar, alcohol, things like that, these are all really inflammatory. So a lot of us are dealing with some kind of inflammation anyways. It's also said to, a lot of the scientists believe that 70% of disease comes from inflammation. So when you think about that, if you can target the inflammation, the source of it, you can really improve a lot of other things. And so CBD as an anti-inflammatory has been studied, and I think it was at Scripps that a researcher found that having CBD in the bloodstream helps suppress the precursor molecules for inflammation. So, I know personally, there's a ton of research you can read on how well it works for inflammation, especially for people that have arthritis. If you've been injured in anything, really, really good for that. I know for myself, I had a back injury because I was flipping off things that I shouldn't have been flipping off of, and I hit a rock. And it was really, really painful to sleep. And I personally took CBD to help bring down that inflammation. It also helped me sleep, which was great. And it just helped me heal and actually be able to stand comfortably and sleep comfortably, which was huge. But besides a personal story, there's a lot of research, but when I see other people come up to me and they tell me how it's working for them, that kind of empirical evidence is just so powerful. People's stories are so powerful. And I had this one guy, and he came up one time at a farmer's market and said, I've been trying everything. I don't want to go on heavy painkillers. He was in a really bad accident. He didn't have feeling in most of his hand. He couldn't use most of his hand. His arm was in a lot of pain. And so I gave him the inflammation formula that we have, and he came back 2 weeks later, and I was like, oh, you look familiar, you had the inflammation formula. And he's like, I need to get more, this stuff is working so well, it's working better than anything else that I've used, I just can't even thank you enough. And when you see something like that, it's just, to me, that's when it just brings it all home, so it's not just somebody on paper now, it's just people that you see and they're using it and it's working. So there is the research for inflammation. There's also a lot of feedback if you look online or talk to anybody that's used it. Another great benefit of CBD is relief from anxiety and stress. And when people say that CBD kind of calms you, it's not this feeling that you're going to take CBD and just be knocked out or too drowsy to do anything. Some people, there's a side effect. Some people will feel a little drowsy, but for the most part, CBD works by just kind of bringing you into balance, bringing the body into balance, right? So as you bring the body into balance, you're going to just feel less stressed. It also works by relieving the symptoms of anxiety. So when you get an increased heart rate, CBD works to kind of bring you into balance and relieve that. And there's been a ton of studies done on CBD for anxiety. And in 2015, they concluded that they had this collection of study, and they concluded that it is an effective treatment for anxiety. And again, there's a lot of the research that shows how well it's working, but this is something that I see firsthand all the time. I see a lot of mothers actually coming to me and saying, my daughter or my son, they're struggling with anxiety, and the doctors are recommending to put them on medicine, and I'm just really afraid of the side effects, and will this help them? And time and time again, we give them the anxiety formula, and they come back and they're just like, this is great, this is, they come back, they buy more, they're like, this is working just as good as either the medication, or they just not all the side effects of the medication. And I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to tell you whether you should or should not take medication. You should talk to your doctor about that. But if you are exploring natural treatments for anxiety, there is a lot of evidence, empirical and research, that shows that it does help to calm you, bring you into balance, give you that nice, relaxed feeling without making you drowsy. Another thing that people use CBD for is sleep. That's a really popular one. And as I mentioned, sleep, CBD is not going to put you to sleep. Some people, it does make them feel a little drowsy. Most people just feel that sense of calm, less stress, less anxiety. And, if you have less stress and you have less anxiety, and you're going to actually be able to relax and go to sleep. But that being said, CBD is great for sleep in the long term, because while it can work, for some people it works immediately, and then the way that works in the body is as you bring the body into balance, it's going to help regulate your sleep cycles. And so over time, you'll get a longer, more restful sleep from continued use. And that's something that I myself have definitely noticed, which is amazing to be able to just sleep throughout the night. I was doing pretty good, but it was just once in the middle of the night, I'd always have to get up and use the bathroom. And So it's nice to just be able to go to sleep and wake up in the morning. And, you know, for somebody, if you guys are like me and you have that problem, you'll know that that's kind of a miracle sometimes. But besides myself, you know, there have been studies done on CBD for sleep, and there have been a lot of people that come in, and I've seen at the farmer's market, and I actually had a guy the other day, and he was coming back to get his third bottle. It's his third month, and he had been using it. He said it was the only thing that he found that worked for him for sleep. So it's not going to be a fast acting. We always recommend to use it, you know, for at least 10 days, but over the course of a few weeks or a month, it will help your body come into balance, bring your body into homeostasis, and as you do that, get a more restful, deeper sleep. So you might have also seen CBD in things like beauty products, and I know when I kind of first saw that, I was like, is this a gimmick? Is it just like put CBD in it and somebody will buy it? And there's actually a lot of truth to why they are doing this. So CBD, in addition to the benefits I've already talked about, also is great at increasing circulation wherever you put it, as well as promoting skin regeneration. So if you think about those things when it comes to beauty products, if you wanted to use it for your hair, it actually will nourish the follicles of your hair, and your nourished follicles will help you grow longer, stronger, thicker hair. And the same goes for, you know, the skin on your face or the skin on your body. If you're promoting circulation as well as cell regeneration, you're going to be able to nourish the pores and the glands and regulate those glands that either are overproducing or underproducing oils. And so people have used it for acne and dry skin. It just kind of helps bring that balance, helps, you know, helps support a healthy skin so that you can find that balance wherever that may be. And when it comes to nails, it's the same kind of thing. I've seen it in some nail products, and with the nail products, it helps promote, you know, healthy cuticles and helps bring circulation, and by doing that, it helps you grow stronger, longer, thicker nails. So, you know, if you see it in beauty products, you know, certainly there are other oils and other things that you can kind of use in combination with CBD, but it can be a really effective ingredient in beauty products because it does have those really great properties of skin regeneration or cell regeneration and increased circulation. So CBD for pets, is this a thing? Yes. CBD in pets works the same way as it does in humans. So the two biggest things that I see it being used for is inflammation and anxiety. And as I mentioned, it's a really powerful anti-inflammatory. So if you have an older dog, if they're slowing down a little bit, if they have maybe some hip problems or joint pain or anything like that, CBD is going to work on the inflammation in them just as it does in us. You're obviously going to have to adjust the dosage a little bit for them. And then the other thing that people are using it for is for anxiety. You know, as I mentioned, the way that it works for anxiety in humans, it also works for your animal. So if your dog barks a lot when you leave, or gets nervous, or has separation anxiety, doesn't like the car, you know, doesn't like when people walk by, or just gets nervous around people, anything that you would kind of classify as anxiety is going to help your dog feel that sense of being more balanced and more relaxed. And so as you do that, then, you know, your dog will feel less anxious as well. So CBD for pets, pretty much the same as it is for humans. So there it is, everything you need to know about CBD. Well, maybe not everything, so I did put some FAQs below this video. Please check those out. Hopefully between this and that, it'll answer all your questions. Didn't want to keep you in this video for an hour. So let me know if you have any more questions about it. Hopefully you have the tools and the information to make a decision whether you think it would work for you. If you're wondering how to choose a CBD product, the questions to ask, watch the other video about that. And if you are ready to buy, I do fully endorse a company that I absolutely love. They have a great product, seen it work firsthand, and there's a link to buy of that below as well. And you get a little bit of a discount if you use the word DANCE at checkout. And if you're interested in becoming a brand ambassador or affiliate, there's also a form for that down below. And I hope that this video has been good for you, and thanks for being here with me. My name is Nicole. This has been an episode of Dance to the Beat TV about CBD.